Hey everyone, Matt here at the Northern Angler in Traverse City, Michigan. It is June and it's time to start thinking about staying out late to catch big trout. So we're going to go through a few things today you need to keep in mind, a few tricks, tips, tools that will make things a lot easier for you so you can be a little bit more successful late in the evening and early into the morning. So first things first, if you're out chasing the hex hatch or some of those late ISOs or brown drakes, it gets really buggy here in Michigan in June, and the first thing I always take with me is this bug stopper hoodie from Simms. It is fantastic. It has permethrin baked into it, and if it gets real buggy, I can just put the hood up and they leave me totally alone. Next thing, thermocell. Thermocell is similar to kind of like those tiki torches, but it's a little portable guy you can keep with you in your bag or just in your wader pocket. Just click the button, you're ready to rock. Next thing that's really important is a headlamp. You got to have a way to get in and out of the water safely. Simple as that. So do not forget a flashlight. Your phone does not work real well for this. Believe me, I've done it. The other thing is, get one with more than just a white light. Get one with a red light too. If you really want to make enemies on the river, do this. Turn your white light on and off constantly. It kills everyone's night vision, and it just kind of ruins the whole seclusion and quiet nature of fishing in the evening. So get one with a red light. Learn how to use it, please. Next thing is probably going to be some low light glasses or clear safety glasses. These are really light yellow, so I can get great contrast in low light. The other thing is just a clear pair of safety glasses, because hooks flying around at night, not usually the safest thing, especially if you're fishing with someone else. I steer clear of that, so be safe out there, be safe. I typically just carry a lanyard with me in the evenings. You can have it just with your tippet and your nippers if you want, but I also clip my floatant right to it so I don't have to dig in my bag constantly. We have them from a bunch of different companies, including Loon makes a great model, uses some paracord, has a padding on the neck, and it floats. But it just makes life a lot easier. There's nothing worse than having to dig in your bag in the middle of the night to find something like floatant or tippet. Next thing, speaking of tippet and leaders, with big flies like these hex bugs that can be, up to a size 4 sometimes, just monster mayflies, you got to use bigger leaders, bigger tippet diameters. Now, short leaders, we usually use 7.5 foot because we're typically roll casting no more than 15 feet, 20 feet max to a fish. You can get real close at night. So typically we're using 1 or 2X, and then you got to have the matching tippet. Almost always we're using mono. Consider checking out Rio's new PowerFlex Plus. It's stronger for the same diameter, and we really like it. Now, usually because these bugs are so big, I carry a big giant box like this. But what I really like to do, pick a few patterns I know work, put them on a little foam patch, stick it to my waders or to my lanyard. Again, I'm not digging in my bag constantly, turning my light on and off. I can just sit and know I have everything with me. Before those big bugs come out, sometimes we get other hatches, and it's really important to probably have a few other bugs with you, like brown drakes, isonychias, light Cahills, some stoneflies, stuff like that. And you can always pick up a few fish if the big bugs don't come out on a few light Cahills, so you're not going home empty-handed. Now, say you stay out all night and nothing happens, and it's really late and it's dark, and you still want to go fishing, you might want to take a box with some mouse patterns. These are great. We'll maybe do another video in the future about fishing these, but typically downstream and across, little strips, let it swing, let it dangle in the water. You can sometimes coax some very large fish into eating a meal like this, and one fish will make your night, I guarantee it, on a mouse. One thing to avoid is this. This is DEET. DEET will melt your fly line. Melt right through it. I've seen it melt through sunglasses too. That's why we really stick with the permethrin type clothing. We stick to thermocell that just has a scent the insects really don't like. If you can avoid DEET in any way, do so. They even make gloves with permethrin in it. I hate getting bit in the hands, and sometimes I'll take those gloves with me, and it just makes a huge difference. Fly lines, when you're fishing at night, at least for the hex, at least for the mayfly hatches we get, usually you don't need a special line. You can use something like a general trout taper or real gold, but they do make some really nice lines that actually glow in the dark. Now, it's not super bright and crazy like you're in the middle of a Tron game. It's subtle. You can pick and choose how much of the line you want to glow. You can just glow a 12-inch section, excuse me, and that'll help you judge the drift and help you make better presentations to those fish that are feeding in the night that you can't even see. So consider something like that. We have them from Scientific Anglers and Rio. They can make a big difference in your night fishing, make it really easy to make that perfect presentation. So consider that. Now, if you're doing the mousing game afterwards, you might want something a little bit heavier. These are heavy, air-resistant flies. You might want something like a Titan taper or an outbound short, or my favorite is actually a nymphing line. It has a big fat head up front, easy to roll cast at distance, easy to pick up the whole line. So come in here, we'll get you set up with lines, headlamps, flies, glasses, you name it. But don't forget the most important thing for that monster. Make sure you remember a net. I've been stuck on the river with a big fish on and realized I had no net. So take something with you so you can grab that big fish and make some memories. Have fun this June. Get out there and get fishing. Be safe. Stop in. Let us know how you do. Tag us on Instagram, all that stuff. We'll see you out there on the water. Thanks.